Hello YouTube, I Fix It All here, Team I Fix It All. I did about a week ago a harvest on all my beets. I gave away about a third to a neighbor, but I've got my beets here prepped and ready to hand off to the wife. I love beets. I got about a half a 5-gallon bucket full right there. That's gonna be a lot of beets. Lots of good looking beets in there. Lots of good looking beets. And the tops were no good as far as eating. We generally like to save our greens back. That's one of those, like the wife says, waste not, want not. And then I also harvested peaches, or it's complicated. They came from a nectarine tree, but they're peaches. So those have been picked for about 4 or 5 days. They're getting real soft. She's got to get on those right away. I just picked the rest that were kind of need to stay for a few more days. So that's why I got two buckets half full. We'll take a look at my nectarine tree. And that would be that tree right there. I cleaned it out. I have a peach tree right there and right there, and then I have this thing which produces, it's supposed to be peaches, but sometimes it crosses with the nectarine. The nectarine will sometimes cross with peach because the nectarine tree doesn't have a buddy, so I'm going to try to fix that this year. It'll produce nectarine or peach. Somehow they're supposed to be in the same lane. And pears. I'm going to harvest up all these pears that are on this tree. It's quite the few. I think I might have almost a 5-gallon bucket full. They're not very big. I'm trying to see where the hell my camera is pointing. They're not all that big, but there's quite the few in there. Kind of hard to see them, but they're in there. Try to zoom in a little better. Excuse the background noise. Don't know what that is. My neighbor doing something. Anyway, you can take my word for it. I'm going to be harvesting all the pears. Because apparently we're stupid. We just don't know what we don't know. Pears apparently need to be harvested before they become soft. Before they become where they feel like they're ripe. They have to be pulled early because pears apparently ripen from the inside and then outward. So it's my thoughts that since these are our first year of actually producing a huge amount of pears, this poor little tree right here is just plumb loaded. Let me see if I can get electrocuted. Nope, I got away with it. Taters got to be dug too. My God. Not dug, but just gotten. So this tree has really little pears, but they're still pears. But we're going to get them all and get them indoors. And Miss Brits is going to get on putting them up. I got to get these taters out of here. I don't know what to call this video other than harvesting stuff and random stuff. But as a result of my getting the beets out of the ground in the 3rd week of July, I immediately after I harvested, hoed up, stirred the dirt, and dropped more beet seed. So we got little sprouts coming up after about a week I can't really show you one that's, I know I've got some beets popping. It's just so tiny. Like, here's an example of one. We don't even know if that's going to show up. Maybe it will. And if I walk up through there, I'll find a bunch of them that are just popping. But that'll be in there for the remainder of the year. And again, I gave away to my neighbor probably from here to there. Right to the big pear tree. Quite a few beets, but she enjoys beets too. So RJ, if you see this, get you another crop of beets set out. It's a cold weather plant anyway. I've pulled all my broccoli and cauliflower, and I've got cold weather starts set. These have only been in for about a week. So this is the far left is cabbage, and the next one is Brussels to the right, and then to the right of that is cauliflower, and then on the far right is broccoli. And what I did was, inside of each 2-inch pod, I put 2 seeds, one on this corner and one on that corner, one on this corner and one on that corner. I don't know how it drifted over. If you look at it, you'll start to see a pattern. Like right here, it's more prevalent. Corner, 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 corner. I set seed like that on purpose because if a item pops up and it's not in a corner, it's most likely a weed. With that being said, there's quite a few of these that are up, and they will be my cold weather guys. RJ, here's your that's your cauliflower. There's 6 pots. That's a 6-pack there, but there's 2 in each one. Back to YouTube. What I'll do is, when these plants get taller, I'll basically just pop the whole thing out and split it in half, and 50% of this section gets transplanted and 50% of that I just basically run my spoon in there and I split it, or a knife, pocket knife or scissors or whatever. These will probably spend another week in here, but that's all going to be predetermined on how long I get my taters out, because all the broccoli and cauliflower, cabbage and Brussels are going in where my taters were. It's starting to get chilly at night for us here in the mountains of West Virginia. We're hitting in the high 50s, mid 60s at night, and we're doing about 80 in the day. We've hit our peak season for heat, but we might get unlucky and get some more heat. I don't know. I'm kind of reluctant to put those cold weather plants inside an area that generally has a tendency to hold heat, because that's not what broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage actually like. And I don't know what's growing in my corn, but I swear to God, it looks like I have got nothing but sunflowers. I have no idea where these sunflowers came from. I don't know where all those sunflowers came from. I threw mulch in there, but every one of those plants look identical. Those weed plants, every one of them are the same thing. Do I have except for the occasional sour grass. On a sidebar note, I knew I had found a very cool natural growing thing in my garden, so I let it go wild. I've got god-awful amounts of purslane, and this is really good stuff. or pigweed, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to be transplanting a lot of this over to the herb garden stair step area. I'm going to be putting the purslane way up in its own little, on the right hand side I have herb beds. So that's an herb step, that's an herb step, that's a dead herb, that's an herb, that's an herb, herb, dead. This is available. That's where the purslane's going. And got some mint or something there. And got wineberry there and wineberry here for when I expand this bamboo archway system to keep our blueberries all covered up. Oh my God. More gobs of blueberries. Gotta get picked today. Wowzer. Figs. So, tomatoes. I'm hopeful on my broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts and cabbage. But back to the purslane. I've got more purslane. I hope I'm saying that right. This is where all my broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage was. I've cleared it. I've also done a reweave on tomatoes, getting them laced in. That's the last time I'll touch them. Got maters hanging in gobs. Got squash hanging in gobs. Had to put diapers on these things. If you do these arches and you grow squashes, you got to get you some cheap landscaping fabric and give them a cradle to lay in. Okay, you got to put them in diapers. You gotta do this, otherwise. And I don't know how pumpkins got in here. Now I got to manage pumpkins. I've got an 80-pound pumpkin sitting above my head. I got squash above my head. Those won't get diapered because they'll have enough support. These guys just hanging. Yeah. One day you'll even get big enough to have your very own diaper. Huh. Diapers everywhere. Quite a bit of purslane. Back to that. What are these red mushrooms? I don't trust Reddit, but there's a lot of information about this mushroom. So it does have a red top, and I noticed all the mushroom gurus out there want different angles. Please chime in if you know what this is. So there's the underside. Let's go right there. It's red stalk, red top. Let me see if it's vented underneath. Oh, I broke it. So someone said if it turns blue immediately, if you break it in half, it's supposed to be poisonous. I'm sitting here handling it. So we'll come back and check on that guy. Because I think, boy, this is a rabbit hole I don't think I want to go down, but there you go. There's the underside. It doesn't look vented or nothing, but I was told if it turns blue immediately. Let's come back and check on it. Here's a bigger one. I'm not going to do nothing with my hand. Ooh, it looks like looking into a sponge on the bottom side. Like a straight up sponge. Break it in half. And I swear to God, it looks like it's trying to turn blue. Interesting. We'll come back and check on it. Here's more purslane. Would you look at that? Got eggplants going on here. Squashes going on. Crazy. So I got several independent purslane plants, and I love the... Alright, so guys, succulent, really waxy plant, beautiful plant. The side that doesn't get sun is really green. The side that does get sun is like a plum color. Don't want to say red. Somewhere in the world of mauve or burgundy-ish. But what does it taste like? Imagine lettuce with a flavor. That's the only words I have. Eggplant. More purslane. So I've got a lot of purslane that I can capture and relocate. Yeah, peanuts. More purslane. Everywhere I saw that purslane, because my son was really digging it when he ran across his. More squash. Lots of squash. Intermingled with sweet taters. Believe it or not, there's sweet taters back in there along the fence. We decided to not let the sweet potatoes climb. Lots of yellow squash. That orange spray paint means I have dibs on it for seed. I've orange spray painted certain ones that I want for seed. I believe that's my orange spray paint one back there too. What I'm doing is letting it go as long as possible. That'll be called yellow squash bumpy. Lots of squash in there. Lots and lots of squash. There's one that's spray painted. Going pretty good here. Lots and lots of squashes there. My goodness. Did you know that the flowers is not a squash? That's not the squash. The squash is down there. The bloom is not the squash. I just learned that. Here's sweet taters along the... Well, no, this is vine peach. This is another one of those stretcher vegetables where when you grow it and you pick it and you mix it, it'll take on the characteristic of the item that you're short on. Let's say you don't have enough to make 12 apple pies, but you have enough apples to make 6 apple pies. Yeah, just 50-50 vine peach in with it, and it'll stretch to become a dozen apple pies. But there's another useful... This sweet potatoes through here. Sweet taters that are also intermingling amongst the squash. Happy lands in there, yeah. Onions that may or may not do a damn thing. Another stretcher veggie is this thing called white bush, or otherwise known as patty pan. Hand for scale. Hand for scale. Oh. There we go. Another big patty pan. I got orange spray paint on this one. That's mine. For seed. And yeah, pretty darn big patty pan, but it'll take on the characteristics of something else that you mix it with. Let's say you need to stretch it to make more peach cobbler, and you have enough for maybe a half a big cobbler. Just make it with patty pan. Patty pan everywhere in there. All kinds of patty pan happenings. Big ones. Hot peppers, which is not my thing, but having trouble with a lot of the squash choking out other veggies. Where'd my skeezars go? There they are. Got some cheapy scissors that we keep out here in the garden, because I don't like when other veggies are getting choked out for light. Although that's a good leaf, it's got to go. Dunk. Gosh, there's quite a few that should go, actually. I feel bad about cutting that many off. See ya? See ya? Out of there. because that basil wants to get a little bit of light. That's what we got right there. We got some more hot peppers back in there. The basil looks good. I think these are hot peppers too. These are just regular green peppers. I got green peppers way up on the first bay. Volunteer tomato. We've got permanent grapes right there. I'm gonna try that out. See how it works. Oh my God, 20-minute video. Here's more basil. Doing good. And I've already began to take on an attitude. Oh, well, there's somebody who needs a diaper. Take on a new attitude of every squash or everything that I can get my grubby paws on, I'm going to turn it into seed, which means my coffee cream containers, French vanilla and what have you, I won't be putting squash in just little tiny seed packs. I'm going to be the guy who has enough squash to supply an entire county. So here's two yellow squash bumpies that are drying out. Why is that showing up so weird? Okay, there you go. Yeah, they're doing good. Anywhere where there's a, how do I call it, delicate heat. I don't really want these sitting in the sun too much, because if sunlight disinfects, then who's to say that it... These have only been in the sunlight for a few hours. I'm going to now relocate these down low. All I'm after is the heat. So I'll set those there. It'll be warm in the truck, but I don't want the sun beating on them. And then solar radiation. Let's be honest. I technically don't even know what I'm talking about just now. But my gut feeling is if the sun beats down directly on a seed you're trying to dry, I personally have this gut feeling that radiation kills things from the sun, would literally possibly kill that seed's ability to germinate. So find a warm area that'll dry out your seed, but don't let them sit directly in the sun. Corn's coming along good. Got a few ears that I could pick. Corn is overall way taller than my arches, which are 7 foot tall. My corn is maybe 9, 10. But I got to get to these pears next, people. So you guys have, I don't think I forgot anything. My next task is to get taters in. Oh, also I've got round 2 of zucchini planted, and I can explain what my little tin cans are for. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed, randomly you'll notice I've got these little tin cans with the bottoms and tops cut out. What are those for? It's for when I start new seedlings. Birds like to come along and snip the juicy tops off of new starts. And because I didn't have these cans on, look what happened. Both of those got snipped. So I'm going to cross my fingers if I don't see any progress on those two that looks like it's going to grow. I'm going to repop some seeds in the ground because it's not too late for zucchini. And also this one on the end got nibbled on a little bit by birds. Normally what I do is I rock that can down to where it sinks in about a 1/2 inch as well. but I'm just standing these up. Got a few zucchini happening over here. This one's spray painted because it's mine for seed. That was the first one that came on, but all those are pretty decent sized. Whoops, I broke that leaf. Hand for scale. My objective here is to I have visions of loaves of zucchini bread just lying dormant in the deep freeze, just waiting for me to come eat them. Round 2 of peas installed, because round 1 is drying. We have some leftovers on this fence down through here. And round 2 of peas are up. Hard to tell, but like here's a pea. So what I did was, along this pig fencing, I got a pea across from here, the middle, across from here, the middle. There's quite a few peas down through there. And peas being a cold weather plant, hello pear, you're coming in here in a little bit. All of you are. Peas being a cold weather plant, I might get 3 rounds of peas this year. I just do not know. We shall see. I didn't get to get round 2 of taters in like somebody I know, but that's my own damn fault. I'm happy to see I got a round 2 of beets though. Happy to see that I have my cold weather broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts prepped in over there. I'm glad to see my strawberry patch has been replenished from the chickens obliterating the last round. I'm happy to see that my fig tree has grown better than it ever has, because I cut down a few trees to capture more morning light, and also a couple of taller trees over there to catch the evening light, which added more sunlight to that fig. Now I just need that little wasp to come along and sting the fruit, but I don't know if I even have any fruit. But what I do know is this fig tree is reacting positive to the extra new light. I didn't want this to turn out to be a garden update video, but it looks like it has evolved into that. I don't use pesticides. I do use bug dust periodically. This is Cariobe or something like that. I don't know how to say the word, and I've never even eaten this thing before. You guys may or may not recognize it, but we had one harvested a couple of days ago because it was splitting, so we assumed that's ripe if it splits. But I noticed it really takes on the bug attention, just like cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels. Here's more green peppers. Should see those going into bloom soon. Couple comments I'll make. I'm never starting peppers again early in the year. I'm probably never going to grow broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage and start them early in the year again. I'm probably going to be starting those by seed in mid-July, because then they are seedlings and little guys for about a month. Then we're into August, and then by then a lot of your bug challenges are over. It's the concept with the potatoes. If you get your taters in the ground, if you do mulch, go ahead and just find somebody who's got tree trimming company. Lay you out a bed of mulch. It's like 1.5 foot, 2 foot deep, and let it settle over the winter. And then come spring, hoe out some trenches for your taters and drop them last week of February, first week of March, and then bury the hell out of them with mulch. And then they'll sprout and struggle, and maybe, you'll catch a May frost on some of the little guys that are popping. But don't worry, because those taters have eyed up so bad, They're just itching to get out anyway. You'll be harvesting potatoes. Look at mine. It's end of July and they look like they've been on the downhill slide for 4 weeks. I could harvest now. If I had seedlings that were eyed up real well, I could toss them in and probably get around to a taters, but you could harvest mid-June if you get them in the ground first, second week in March. Because you think about March, that's April, May, June, that's 90 days. Play around with it a little bit, maybe late June. There's 120. And then you've got July, August, September, October. There's your second round of potatoes. And what you've done is, right in those critical months of peak summer, where tater bugs are coming in and wanting to obliterate everything, you're harvesting or replanting during the time when they're trying to look for potato plants to eat. Think about it. Alright guys, this is it. 31 minutes. This video will never get seen. See ya. Bye.